Hi, Muskies. My name is Leah Shire, and I'm a counselor here in Counseling Services. And today I'm going to talk to you a little bit about mindfulness. So, you may have an idea of what mindfulness is. Most of us have some type of image that pops up when we hear mindfulness or meditation. It could be, sitting in one space. It could be I constantly have to think about my thoughts. It could be a variety of different things. So, today I'm going to give you a little bit more information about how to start mindfulness and some different mindfulness exercises. So, what exactly is mindfulness? And it's simply paying attention on purpose in the present moment, non-judgmentally. And what that means is you're intentionally listening or watching in the here and now, um, with not judging yourself or someone else for that matter. So it's simply being in the present moment, being aware, listening, and not judging any thoughts that may come up, not judging any feelings that may come up, and just simply letting them be. Okay. So how to start practicing mindfulness? So I'm going to give you 6 tips how to kind of start practicing mindfulness. And so the first one is you just want to take a seat, find a comfortable seat, find a place that is quiet, maybe turn off the lights. It could be inside or outside, just a place that feels calm and quiet to you. Number two, you can set a time limit. So if you're just beginning, it may just be 2 to 5 minutes. And that may not seem like a long time, but when you're practicing mindfulness, it can seem a little bit longer. So, it can be up to 10 or 15 minutes, however much time you want to dedicate to your mindfulness practice. So, you can set a timer, that way you don't have to worry about keeping track of the time. And then you're simply going to, number 3 is you're going to simply start to notice your body. So if you're sitting, you're kneeling in a place that is comfortable for you, just make sure you can stay stable in that position for a period of time. And then number 4, you're going to start to breathe. So you're going to feel your breath. So you're going to feel the sensation as your breath, as you inhale in through the nose and exhale out through the mouth. So when we're having thoughts and there's a lot of different things that come up in our mind, if we bring our focus back onto the breath, it's bringing that awareness to the breath rather than things that are going up in our mind or around us or outside of our body. And then number 5, we're obviously going to notice when our mind is wandered, right? That's very natural. It's very common for that to happen. Because it's naturally what our mind does, right? So when we're breathing, we're trying to remain with that focus on the breath, but there are thoughts that are going to pop in. And so when you get around to noticing this, just simply return your attention back to your breath. Oh, I have to go meet this person in a little bit, or oh, I have to do that assignment in a little bit, or oh, what are my plans for this weekend, right? So that's natural. Those thoughts are going to come in. And then you're thinking, oh, shoot, I'm supposed to be practicing mindfulness right now. So you start to bring awareness back to the breath. Okay. And then number 6 is just be kind to yourself with those thoughts. So you understand that your mind is going to wander. And so part of practicing mindfulness is don't judge yourself or obsess about the content that has popped up into your mind. And so just simply come back to the breath. And focusing on the inhales and the exhales as you continue your breath. And the idea for mindfulness is eventually is to limit the amount of thoughts, or to train your brain so the amount of thoughts and distractions aren't as prominent when you're practicing mindfulness. But remember that it's totally normal to have those thoughts come in. And you just want to simply acknowledge those thoughts, not judge them or anything like that. Or if you're feeling a certain way when you're practicing mindfulness, like, okay, like I'm feeling happy, or I'm feeling kind of sluggish today, and just again, part of that is practicing without any judgment. So just simply being aware of how you're feeling or what's going on in that moment and allowing it to happen. Okay, so that's pretty simple, right? How to start practicing mindfulness. And like I said, you can start for a couple minutes. You can work your way up or have a goal in mind of what you would like to achieve. You could practice it on a daily basis. Maybe you just want to practice it once a week or a couple times a week. Again, it depends. It depends on what your schedule looks like. And, practicing mindfulness is good for your overall health, your overall mental health, helps with stress and anxiety. So there's definitely some benefits too, as well as just the fact that we're always getting pulled every which way. You're getting pulled here. You have to do this, and this just allows that time for you to have that time just to kind of simply be in that moment, and allow yourself that quiet time. Okay. So some other things to keep in mind, just to kind of help practice mindfulness when maybe you feel like you can't dedicate a certain amount of time. You can kind of do things on a daily basis, or throughout your day, to practice or being more mindful as well. So again, the first one is just simply breathe. So breathe in, hold for 3 counts, and then exhale. So just simply focus on the breath, and you can do that at any time. People won't know you're doing it, and so it's just bringing your awareness back to your breath. The next is being mindful of what you drink. So if you're, especially in the morning when you're getting up and you have your, for those of you that drink coffee, really savor that coffee. How does it taste? Like, just focus on something. I'm just going to sit here and drink my coffee. I'm not going to think about anything else right now. Okay? And that goes along with the next one is doing one thing at a time. So, for example, like when you're eating, just eat your food. When you're working on your homework, just simply work on your homework. When you're checking your email, just focus on checking your email. Instead of trying to, I think so many times we're multitasking and having to do a lot at one time. This part of mindfulness is focusing on what is it that I'm doing right now, and I strictly need to do that at that time. And notice your senses. So, what are some things that you smell? What are some things that you hear? What are some things that you touch, taste, or feel? So again, like, if you're walking to class, like if you, hear the birds chirping, you start to focus in on only hearing those birds chirping, right? So just being mindful of what's going on, because a lot of times we tune all that stuff out. But this again is bringing the awareness back to a specific thing. Listening. So if someone's listening, are you fully being mindful of what they're saying, right? Sometimes we listen, but we're not really there. We're worried about what we're going to say next, or you got other things that you're thinking about, and so try to practice really being mindful with your listening. Same thing with eating. So when you're eating, if there's a time where, you may be by yourself or you may practice this, with other people, it's just like, okay, I'm going to simply just be mindful of what my food tastes like instead of just eating as fast as I can before I have to run to class. So like, what does the taste feel like in my mouth? What is the texture? Does my food smell? Does it, what color is it? Those types of things. And then, speaking of running into class, when you're not running to class, you could do something called mindful walking, and that's just simply feeling the feet connecting to the ground when you walk, right? So that could be something simple, when you aren't going to class, that you just simply become more aware of the ground beneath you. And then the last one is just a body scan. Bring your attention to your body and notice any areas of tension you may feel within your body. And again, it's simply being aware without judgment or anything like that. It's just like, oh, okay, that's tight. That's all I'm going to notice. Like my shoulders are tight. Like just simply being aware of that. Or I've noticed that I'm like clenching my jaw because I'm stressed. But again, it's just simply being aware of what's going on in your body. Okay, so those are some things that may kind of help you be more mindful throughout your day, to kind of help maybe get you started with mindfulness as well. Um, but again, this is some different practices that you can try just to start off with, and help you be more aware, um, be more intentional with different things, and just simply practicing that non-judgment, accepting things the way that they are.